Today, the military identified the Navy SEAL candidate who died shortly after completing his Hell Week training. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Steve Price.
And I'm Kirsten Holmes. 24-year-old Kyle Mullen was from New Jersey and was just finishing up the grueling part of his training known as Hell Week. It is the most famous part of the three-phase assessment for candidates hoping to become a Navy SEAL. CBS 8's Regina Ahn spoke with a former SEAL about what goes into that rigorous training.
Yeah, Hell Week is a 5-day grueling event during the first phase of the Navy SEAL and selection pathway. That was what Kyle Mullen finished and ultimately died a few hours after.
Hell Week is pretty much exactly as it sounds. It starts Sunday afternoon and goes until Friday afternoon. And as I said, it's just a gut check.
Paul Anderson served in the United States Navy for 26 years, going through Hell Week himself before becoming a Navy SEAL. He outlined the rigorous week-long assessment and what it takes to become a Navy SEAL.
You're wet, you're sandy, you're cold, you're hungry, and the entire week. But that it's designed that way to see who can overcome adversity.
Candidates hoping to become the elite of the elite go through an entire week in rough conditions, getting about an average of 4 hours of sleep. On the official Navy SEALs website, Hell Week is described as the toughest training in the U.S. military, and only about a quarter of those who start finish. On Friday, 24-year-old Kyle Mullen died after completing Hell Week, something that Anderson says is surprising to see.
Every student is checked out by a physician, and so, and even after they complete it on Friday afternoon, they get checked out again by a physician.
Mullen and another SEAL candidate reported feeling sick hours after training had finished. Both were transported to nearby hospitals where Mullen later died. Anderson says it may have been the lack of speaking up earlier that contributed to this tragedy.
If you're sick or injured, that is commonly what happens is you get sent back to the very beginning of training again. You want to stay in training. You don't want to get rolled back.
A feeling he understands too well.
I had a stress fracture in my right leg and I was limping really bad. So I said, yeah, one leg shorter than the other. And eventually they figured it out that wasn't true.
And while the training is difficult, Anderson says it's necessary to prepare these candidates for what's to come.
You get overseas, you need to know that person who's to your right and to your left is going to be there regardless of what happens or how hard it is or how miserable you are.
Anderson says the loss of life is hard to grasp, especially within the tight-knit military community.
My heart goes out to their family because you send your kids off to the military, expecting them to be okay and to be cared for. And then something like this happens, it has to be just absolutely devastating.
A second trainee is hospitalized and is in stable condition at Naval Medical Center, San Diego. The cause of Mullen's death not known just yet. An investigation is underway.